Thanks so very much. Greetings and good afternoon. And as I usually say on rainy days, if it was only 30 degrees colder, it would be perfect for training. This is indeed a most humbling honor, and I thank the Alumni Association and the selection committee for considering me worthy of joining such a remarkable list of awardees, and Admiral Carter and all of you at the Academy for hosting this ceremony. And I add my recognition and appreciation of all of the work done by so many to make all of this possible. My classmates from '73 were important then and now, and I'd like to applaud their service and support. We had a bit of a reunion an hour or two ago, and through some sort of cosmic coincidence, exactly 73 members of my class showed up. Would you please stand? Come on, get up. I'll admit that I was naive when I first arrived at the Naval Academy. I had no family tradition of military service or any real prior interaction with military people. It was the height of the Vietnam War, and military service was generally unpopular at the time. But I guess I didn't care much about that, and I was looking for a way to serve, and the cost of tuition was certainly right. So I showed up on induction day as a total newbie, having not quite reached 17 and a half years old. At our very first gathering of our plebe class, we were told to look at the guys, we were all guys then, on our left and right, and consider the reality that one of the three of us wouldn't still be here on graduation day, and I naturally assumed it was me who would be long gone. I was on academic probation after my first semester. I was never a varsity athlete, and most of the stripes on my sleeve were virtual, having been voted by my peers to serve as the brigade honor chairman and not selected by the administration for a leadership position. I was not the guy that my classmates would have voted in the top 100 or 200 or 300 most likely to succeed. But that administration and those classmates are why I stand before you today. My plebe roommates, Mark Clapper and Bill Bartron, saw that I was struggling academically and took it upon themselves to tutor me after hours and often after taps, and they pulled me through. And later, they both graduated with honors, and I graduated. For service selection, I was fortunate to be one of 3 members of my class selected for direct accession to SEAL training, along with Dave Kohler and Mark Golay. 3 days later, I drove my Volkswagen van into a guardrail on the DC Beltway at 60 miles an hour, and it was hurt badly enough that my commissioning as an ensign was in question, let alone my potential service as a SEAL officer. But the amazing thing is that nobody gave up on me. The Academy let me keep my service selection and even my original starting date for SEAL training. My professors let me do distance learning for the 2 months that I was in the hospital. My classmates, some of them here today, made almost daily trips to my bedside at Bethesda to bring me lessons, explain the hard parts, and take back my completed homework. And as my other injuries mostly healed naturally, The doctors at Bethesda fitted me with an experimental weight-bearing brace that enabled me to recover from a fractured femur in record time. So if they weren't going to give up on me, how could I not give it everything I had to prove their trust in me? It was a heck of a lesson for a 20-year-old kid, and it served me well through a long career of leadership. If you won't quit on them, they won't quit on you. And later, under some comparably tough conditions, but for a much longer period of time, my family, my wife Marilyn, my son Dan, and my daughter Allie, all of whom are here today, gave me the same unconditional support, and I sure wouldn't be here without them. My special operations teammates from all services at all ranks, again, some of them here today, most certainly gave me everything I could have asked for and more, sometimes under the most severe of circumstances. And witnessing close up as teammates risked and sometimes lost their lives to help each other survive, fight, and win reinforced everything I hoped and believed about selfless service and about courage. And as you drive into Annapolis now, you drive across a bridge named after a SEAL petty officer, Patrick Feeks. His father was my classmate. Tom Feeks is here with us today as well. My takeaway is that we all depend on the strength and support of others. I wrote a lot of strong backs to get to the positions that I was so privileged to hold and to this platform today. And although you no longer lose 1/3 of your class, if I was speaking to a new plebe class at its first gathering, I'd say something like, look at the young men and women on your left and right and commit to doing whatever you can to help them be as successful as they can be. We need every one of you, and each of you can make it more likely that the others will succeed. It was a great honor to serve in the ways that I was allowed to. There's no substitute for studying, training, planning, preparing, and hardening yourself for the challenges you may face, but my own experiences taught me that it's roommates, classmates, teammates, friends, and family who get you through the toughest times. And you will have tough times. The nature of warfare continues to change, and you will be there to answer that challenge. We can never wish away the possibility of real industrial strength, nation versus nation fisticuffs that require dominance of sea, air, land, and space. But you, must also prepare for all of the conflicts around the edges and all of the non-traditional factors that have national security implications and for which you will deploy. Cyberism, non-state actors, sub-state actors, proxies, surrogates, fights for energy, water, and precious metals, climate change, natural disasters, pandemic disease, transnational crime, and many, many more, including a high potential for mistakes or misreads of each other's intentions. This will all require a complexity. This will create a complexity that requires strength and skill, but also guile and knowledge. It will be difficult. And if any of you ever begin to think that you are the key to success, that you're the smartest, fittest, fastest, funniest, best looking, or bravest person in the room, then that's the beginning of your failure. No one knows more than I do how truly fortunate I am to stand today among the distinguished graduates of this great institution. And in fact, many of them were my own mentors and role models over the years. I count my time with such leaders on the distinguished graduate list as Admirals Mullen, Red, Fargo, Giambastiani, Smith, Ellis, Dawson, and General Pace as especially educational and inspirational. And I have definitely benefited from what my classmate, teammate, friend, and SEAL swim buddy, retired Captain Dave Kohler, who's here today, calls the Ole Luck. But the real Ole Luck is that I was able to serve in the company of people like him. And by the way, the three of us who were initially selected from my class to go to SEAL training thought we went through a bizarre selection process and could not figure out how the three of us who were selected actually were. But 20 years later, all three of us were commanding SEAL teams. And those of you tonight who are beginning sort of your own test for selection into the SEAL community will sometimes find the process bizarre. And I would just urge you to have some confidence that it will do what it's intended to do. I wish all of you every success in whatever it is you choose to do. May all of you have the same level of support that I had, and may you all love what you do as much as I did. Hoo-yah, United States Naval Academy. Hoo-yah, Class of 73. Hoo-yah, Brigade of Midshipmen. Thank you for this honor.